Michael Lespinasse. Lespinasse. Sorry about that. The speech's purpose is to inform or instruct. Speech title, Positive Addictions. This will be 5 to 7 minutes. Michael is an actor, coach, whose greatest desire is to see himself in the world reach his full potential. Please help me welcome Michael.
Terrorism, police brutality, Donald Trump. These are just some of the scariest things in the world right now. I'm serious. I mean, there's a lot of people with so much anxiety. I mean, thinking about the election, thinking about what's happening with the state of terrorism all around the world, domestically, abroad, and even just thinking about the stresses of normal life. When we think about paying the bills, finances, families, all these things. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were discussing this habit that I have of spending 4 or 5 hours a day on Facebook. It's a lot of hours. And granted, I'm a sales rep, I drive around through the day, so a lot of times as I sit in doctor's offices, looking at my phone and just doing the Facebook thing is an opportunity. And then in the morning, at night, it's overkill. The reason I mention it is we were having this conversation and I really thought about, why do I do this? What am I getting out of it? And I recognize that just like terrorism, just like police brutality, just like Donald Trump, that I'm afraid. There's an underlying fear and anxiety that is just rumbling underneath. And that fear and anxiety creates the desire to escape, amongst other things. So tonight, very briefly, 5 to 7 minutes, we're just going to talk about addictions. Essentially, what addictions are, negative and positive, and what we can do to shift from negative addictions to more positive addictions. So I mentioned Facebook. That's my Achilles heel. I wish it was more exciting. What are really some negative addictions out there that we face as human beings?
Drugs.
Drugs. Just spit them out. Let's go. Alcohol. Television.
The gym.
I think that might depends on if it's 5-6 hours a day, maybe. But we'll get to that. What else?
Phone games.
Phone games. That's a good one. Pokemon Go.
Telephone in general.
Yeah.
Sugar.
Your cell phone.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Porn. For sure.
Being on computer all day.
Computer, surfing the internet or games or whatever it might be. Shopping. For sure. So, eating. Absolutely. So when we think about what we just mentioned, and we think about the results of these things, the actual results of eating a lot or playing video games, in the moment, we get something. It could be relief, it could be escape, it could be soothing, it could be avoidance. Essentially, anytime that we do something else when we know we have a bigger task, there's some sort of discomfort happening. And what I got to in this conversation with a friend of mine who is LCSW, which is a licensed clinical social worker, what we talked about was it's really hard to just stop behavior and just switch and just change. The first thing to do is learn to observe. Observe our physiology when the feeling to reach for that thing comes up. So for me, when I want to reach for Facebook, what is happening? So I spent 2 weeks really paying attention. And some of the things that those moments surprised me. Sometimes I was tired. Sometimes I felt that I was upset around something I saw. Definitely after the police officers got killed, and of course when the 2 black men were shot a few weeks ago, it was just this clear desire to pay attention to what was happening. One, to escape my life, but also this thought that if I was so tuned into what was happening, that somehow I would be protected. And then an epiphany came that sometimes through food, sometimes through video games, sometimes through drugs, porn, there's a sense of safety that's found. Has anyone ever felt safe when they had an opportunity to indulge in some addiction?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And with this thought, I looked further within and thought about, am I really safe by being on Facebook all this time? Am I creating a true sense of safety? Absolutely not. So what are the natural ways that I could obtain real safety? And that got me down the thought of, I don't really know the answer. But what I do know is that if I pay attention, if I observe, I could actually get into other behavior that could be more positive. So the first thing is to actually observe, to really be aware of what's happening inside and what we really want in that moment when that urge to reach for that escape or that addiction comes up. When that happens, that opens up the possibility of moving into a direction of actually adopting a better or more healthier, productive behavior, a positive addiction. What are some positive addictions that could? David?
What do you mean? Exercise.
Exercise.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What else? Mike?
Reading.
Reading, for sure.
Meditation,
Meditation.
eating healthy.
Eating healthy. Philanthropy. So giving, doing something of goodwill for someone else.
Striving to be a perfectionist.
Can we get a specific action? In what? Be a perfectionist in what?
In all aspect of life.
In all aspects. Okay, so all aspects, anything, working out, as you mentioned earlier. What else? Volunteering your time? Traveling? Absolutely. So the reality, there's options. By taking the time to pay attention and actually possibly make another choice, we don't have to go into this automatic conditioned response and essentially do that thing that we know that we're not even getting what we truly want. So, for myself, an invitation that I throw out for everyone is the next time that thing comes up, that feeling comes up, and you want to reach for that addiction or operate in that behavior, look within, observe, understand what's happening, and then open up to the possibility of making a new choice that's actually constructive and gives you what you really want, which is safety, happiness, peace, all those things that we want out of life. Thank you.